Long-awaited British light tanks are finally coming. It was, I do not even know how many batches ago, well it was years ago when they introduced the British Tech 3 into this game, but it didn't feature too many light tanks, not even in the middle tiers, because as we know, it wasn't too long time ago when they introduced the tier 9 and tier 10 light tanks. But it didn't have anything to offer scouting-wise, spotting-wise. We do not even have a tier 8 premium British light tank. This is something that they usually like to do. They release premium light tanks or premium tanks before the Tech 3 ones, but we do not even have that in the British Tech 3. So finally, it is going to get some scouting, some spotting action into the Tech 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode talking about the future in world of tanks, and today focusing on the British light tanks. So we have some information about tier 7, tier 8, tier 9 and tier 10, the cherry on the top of the cake, the jewel in the crown at the very top of the Tech 3, Manticore or however you have to pronounce it. And let me tell you, just for the intro, this Tech 3 or those British light tanks, they look interesting, very interesting. Many players have already expressed their disappointment towards Manticore, saying this tank is a straight competitor to the WZ-132-1 and to the Panzerkampfwagen in the competition who can be the worst tier 10 light tank. Well, I don't know about that. Let's have a look at the list. So, on to the super test, says Wargaming. Make way to British light tanks. It is a matter of days that British high-tier light tanks will crash in the world of tanks. I would say it is actually a matter of months. I cannot see it happening in days. With stealth and surprise being their element. So, they are focusing on stealth and surprise when they are designing British light tanks. As you know, all high-tier light tanks are born scouts, but the role can be played differently. As for the British, they do it by leveraging their small dimensions, a good view range and outstanding guns. So the very combination gives you a clear clue how to use these vehicles to the best results. Nothing is better than to recon the enemy's position while firing them from the least expected places. Let's take a closer look at the newcomers. So, they do it by leveraging their small dimensions. Yes, those tanks are extremely small, a good view range, let's argue about that, and outstanding guns. Okay. All in all, 4 vehicles will be added to the British Tech 3, all researchable from the Cromwell, a tier 6 medium tank, and this is why I am showing you some Cromwell action on the background as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested receiving or researching British light tanks as soon as they come out, as soon as possible, uncheck your crew boosting from the Cromwell and start doing your daily doubles. Just maybe play 1 or 2 battles every single day with a Cromwell and you should have enough experience when they finally come out to research tier 7 GSR 3301 setter. This is going to be our tier 7 vehicle, tier 8 LHMTV, tier 8 British light tank, tier 9 GSOR 3301 AVR FS, and finally tier 10 Manticore or Manticore, however you have to pronounce it. It is too early to reveal the specs of tier 7 to tier 9 vehicles as their fine-tuning is in its full swing. We have come up with a concept for the entire off-batch of British tanks and now want to test it on the top vehicle. What is known for sure is that all tanks will sport small dimensions. For example, the LH-MTV is smaller than the Badger 12T, and the profile of AVR-FS can be compared to the AMX 1390, as well as imposing concealment abilities and a decent view range. Now you say decent view range, previously you said good view range. I wonder what it is. So let's talk about the tier 10, the cherry on the top of the cake. The branch is topped by the Manticore, a tier 10 light tank. The name fits it perfectly as it is nothing short of a controversy of a vehicle. Despite being quite small, the Manticore is smaller than the T100LT, and now let's take a look at this picture. So the height is compared to the T100LT, as you can see. But T100LT is a bit taller, or its profile is a bit taller, simply because of that light. Turret height is almost exactly the same, if not exactly the same. So if that light counts as a spotting mechanic, if that light actually lowers your overall camo value, then yes, we can say that the Manticore is a bit more stealthy, profile is lower. As you know how the spotting works, in this game we have some spotting points on the vehicle. If that point is visible to the enemy, then enemy can see you. The game sends codes back and forth and you can spot the enemy tank. So if the light works as a actually spottable object, then yes, T100LT is higher. But the turret height is actually identical, I would say so. But Manticore also manages to bear a huge 105mm gun with excellent characteristics, imposing armor penetration of 248mm with the standard AP round and 268 with the special APCR round. Okay, the gun is not huge because compared to some other light tanks, because we have some other 105mm guns in tier 10s as well, only tier 10 light tanks as well. For example, AMX 13105 and EBR 105 as well, so it is not super huge anymore. But the armor penetration on a standard round is the best, 248mm with a standard AP round, so I give it that much. The special APCR round doesn't give you too much extra penetration, only 20mm up to 268, which is also pretty damn nice. But wait for it, guys. The Alpha Strike of 390 points is also decent. Decent stabilization, but when firing from a stationary position, because firing on the move, as they are going to say soon, is horrible. The vehicle's got everything to be sought after. But let's face it, it is not perfect. Its DPM is far from impressive. 4.29 shots per minute. So this is some tier 10 heavy tank reload timer with a massive gun. 14-second reload time. You do not want to get into any 1 versus 1 fights unless the enemy tank is a one-shot. You do not want to take any chances whatsoever. But we know, ladies and gents, we know that tier 10 light tanks, or light tanks overall, should not be about the DPM, should not be about the damage. They should be about the spotting. But we all know how the game works. Maps are way too small, tunnel maps, stuff like that. It has so many issues, but still, light tanks are supposed to be scouts. I made that mistake with ELC. When I was reviewing ELC, I said, oh, how bad the gun is, and I was focusing on the gun. But ELC turned out to be one of the best little scouts in tier 8, and I really enjoy it now. So it seems to be a tier 10 version of the ELC, super small tier 10 light tank, really bad DPM, stuff like that, but it is a single shot version of the ELC. So yeah, its stabilization when firing on the move is low, aka garbage. And its ammunition is so precious that you will have to think over each shot you have or you are about to take. I wonder what the ammunition capacity is going to be when they say it. Is it really going to be 20? When they say its ammunition is so precious that you have to think about every single shot, I hope it is not lower than 20. The Manticore is Predator that can wait, while opting for the best place to perform the best. Once the battle begins, it takes the beneficial position to scout and inform its team on the enemy positioning. Unless you are playing on a city map, and we have quite a few city maps. Oh, this tank is literally going to hate city maps. Each moment you have to assess the situations and make decisions. Is it safe to move further? Is it worth taking a shot, or will your shot just give you away? Because on the one hand, it is a shame to keep such a gun idle. But on the other hand, one shouldn't neglect the tank's key role, that is a scout. This is where the gist of playing the Manticore lies. You have to grasp its controversial nature, and having found the perfect balance between the passive scouting and active firing, damn this steel beast. Yes, it is a challenge, but be sure you will be rewarded with the thrilling feeling of unique power that other light tanks can't get their hands on. But guys, as always, keep in mind all the characteristics mentioned I am going to show you are subject to change. Can be changed during the testing. Because at the moment the vehicles are in the closed test phase. As was said, we have chosen the branch's top tank, the Manticore, to verify whether our gaming concept will work. So maybe it doesn't work, maybe it is never coming out like this. Once we have found the perfect balance between the firepower, concealment abilities and mobility within the given playing role, we will proceed to fine-tune the rest of the vehicles of tier 7 to tier 9. So keep that in mind. Now let's take a quick look at those super early details about the Manticore. Now, I just wanted to share the entire article with my comments on the British light tanks simply because from the article you can understand, you can see what they are thinking about doing to the entire British light tank line, how they are going to design it. Low DPM, really good concealment. They should have extremely good concealment, maybe even the best concealment in the game on any light tank, and super poor DPM with hard-hitting guns. So tier 10. 1400 hit points, hull armor 50, 30, 25, turret armor with some sloping action actually, 80, 40 and 30. But when you are playing with this tank, do not expect seeing any bounces whatsoever. Your best survivability stats in this tank are not the hit points or armoring. Your best survivability stats are actually your camo and your speed and your maneuverability. You have to hope that they miss every single shot. Your size is actually the best survivability stats. Engine power is only 500 horsepower, but it is so small, so light, it should be good enough. Hull traverse speed 45, which is actually not even close being one of the best. Turret traverse speed 40 and view range 400. So this is, I would actually say this is average, completely average view range. Decent, as they said. Not good, decent. Top speed 68. Okay, this is respectable. Reverse speed 25 is also respectable. Power to weight ratio 40.3. Okay. Penetration values, as I said before, 248, 268 and 60. 390 alpha damage and 480 with AG. Accuracy 0.38 stock accuracy. So on the top of having a super bad reload time, your accuracy is also kinda bad. Aiming time 2.3 seconds. And aiming time is also not the best. So the firepower is a complete ass. But, as I said, once again, light tanks are not all about the firepower. So reload time, yes, 14 seconds. Gun depression, minus 8 degrees. Gun elevation, because of this crazy looking turret, is only 8 degrees elevation. But minus 8 degrees is okay, once again. So tier 10, British light tank, ladies and gentlemen. But keep in mind, once again, super early details. This is what they are testing at the moment, this is what they are thinking about doing to the British light tank factory line. So now let me know what you think about it in the comments. Would you like to see something being different? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Please do. That is it from me, this is all I know, and now you know exactly as much. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I thank you for tuning in. I get you next time with something else. Stay awesome, take care, and bye.